Hello, what's up everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Esports and Gaming for the second week of October 2022. I took a little bit of a break last week because I was running a half marathon, but I'm back now and let's dive right into it. For our first top 3 story, Homa Games have raised $100 million in their Series B. The French publishers seem to have a lot going for them as they specialize in partnering with independent mobile game studios to optimize their games. Last year, they totaled about $65 million in funding, so this already surpasses their entire funding from last year, and the company was founded in 2018 in Paris, and the new investment will expand the company's business operations, workforce partnerships, and acquisitions. The round was led by 𝗠𝗿𝗄 Capital and headlined with participation from North Zone, Fabric Ventures, BPI France, Eurazeo, and Singular. I hope I pronounced those all correctly. Mobile gaming announcements typically don't get as much coverage as PC or console announcements, so I want to highlight this due to the vast opportunity there is in mobile gaming. According to Investopedia, most Series B companies have valuations of around $30 to $60 million. So if they're raising $100 million for their Series B, their valuation must be insanely high and much larger than the average $30 to $60 million for a Series B level company. With Newzoo and Bain mentioning how large mobile gaming is in that sector, I'm really starting to wonder how to truly build a community around these games, these largely cash cow games at least. It doesn't really seem like there is much at all, if any, community around these fast casual mobile games, but the question really is, do they really need community if they're generating all this money for shareholders and for the company? That's a whole different discussion. The esports platform Juked, they're going to stay online amid acquisition opportunities. So the founder of Juked, 𝗠𝗿𝗶, has really gone through the ringer with Juked, and I think it shows it all through his social posts. For context, the company was essentially out of money and would need to be acquired by October 7th to continue existing. In his recent update, he mentioned that there are 3 potential acquirers who are interested in Juked. That being said, that they are due to out of funding, they had to furlough their content team and had to pause their tech, which means that the app is essentially in hibernation right now. Some of the potential deals will range from a full acquisition with keeping Juked going as it is, and some would essentially be a tech sale. So there's lots of variation here between how the future of Juked is. Overall, I want to point out that regardless of if you've used a Juked app or not, which I have, and I appreciate a lot of it to get some of my news actually, Ben and his team have really mastered the art of community building, which is a contrast to the last story that I just mentioned about mobile games and how maybe there isn't any community. Understanding the whole point of the service is to make a platform where community can come together for discussions on all types of esports and enjoy esports together. It still shows that Ben and his team really care about the app and the community so much, and most companies wouldn't be this public about the status of their funding or the fact that they're going to run out of money here. Perhaps this was more allowed due to the crowdfunding aspect of it. Maybe if they were traditionally funded, they maybe couldn't talk about it due to the deals of or the terms of the deal from the previous investments. But his team have really mastered in staying in touch with the community, and the fact that there's so much support in the first place when he was first announced that they were going to run out of money, I think that's really awesome, and I'm hoping that Juked can continue to stay alive. Team Liquid are on a quest to unify their rosters and fandoms. Before I go deeper, I have to give props to Josie Brown for this idea. It's too early to say if this is a marketing success or not, but I really appreciate this idea in general. Essentially, Team Liquid are aiming to unify their esports rosters and fan bases with a marketing campaign called Wave of One. Esports Insider had a really great deep dive with Josie, the SVP of marketing from Team Liquid, in case you want to read it, but it basically details the quest of converting fans of individual Team Liquid rosters to fans of the entire org, regardless of what esport they follow. They initiated this campaign with the video featuring 7 rosters, including its Valorant Game Changers team, as well as its Dota 2 team and LCS team. And it's a bit sad to see the CSGO squad wasn't on there, but it's okay. It was mainly shown in an anime style to appeal more to the anime esports culture that's popular in esports right now. I have to say, this is a question I've asked for folks at many esports orgs and many a time before, because even for me, I'm a really big CSGO fan, but I don't watch too many other esports dedicatedly, right? I'll put on Valorant for big tournaments, maybe COD and League of Legends, but I don't follow them as much as I follow CSGO. And additionally, many orgs have beholden to their creators and individual players. An example I'll give is when SK Gaming signed the Brazilian Luminosity Gaming roster in CSGO back in 2016. They were the #1 team in the world, and lots of Brazilian esports fans became SK Gaming fans. But once that same roster left to another esport org, then the Brazilian fans were not fans of SK Gaming either. So I think this is an attempt to really make sure that people are loyal to the esport org and not just players on the org, but they do have to realize that there's people like the players as well, and that's honestly what they care a little bit more about. So in my eyes, I applaud this attempt to make fans more dedicated to the org, and I'll be watching closely to see how this pans out. As far as partnerships go, 100 Thieves partnered with Dude Perfect, Barstool Sports, and 2K, and as a result, 100 Thieves, Dude Perfect, and Barstool Sports people will all be playable characters inside PGA Tour 2K23. People will be able to equip 100 Thieves and Dude Perfect apparel, and even play as Nadeshot later in the year as well. So that seems like a fun licensing partnership if you ask me. MasterCard re-upped their partnership with Riot Games. As a result, MasterCard will remain an official sponsor of Worlds, MSI, and the All-Star event, now including the event's opening ceremonies as well. Typical sponsorship engagements like logo placements in-game and on merch will also be a part of the deal. Gen.G partnered with Tencent. Gen.G will compete as a guest team in the Honor of Kings International Champions event in December to help promote Honor of Kings to a more global audience. Gen.G seems to be the right org for this, given they have both an American and Asian presence across their rosters. 𝗠𝗿 partnered with influencer marketing agency Surge. This deal will focus on sponsorship evaluation for Surge, seeing how effective their sponsorships are for their talent. Epic Games partnered with a variety of esports organizations: Team Falcons, Luminosity Gaming, Optic Gaming, Carmine Core, Most Esports, KC Pioneers, and Team Secret. This means that all those orgs will have decals in the game for the 2023 RLCS season, alongside redesigned decals for all other orgs. It's good to see more orgs and esports teams being directly integrated into video games. For finance and M&A, the Spanish esports org Dux Gaming raised $2.9 million. This round was led by NBA champion Marc Gasol and will be used to help expand the org into LATAM region. As a result, their NBA 2K League team will move from Indianapolis to Mexico City, and they will also be using this funding to continue creating intersections between esports and traditional sports. The Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster has invested into the World Champion Fantasy. As a result, Juju will become a spokesperson for Player X, which is their new fantasy upcoming esports platform. He will also be wearing custom cleats featuring the Player X logo in the upcoming games. And so far, World Champion Fantasy supports Valorant and CSGO, with plans to include League of Legends and Call of Duty in 2023. Xilium Media have acquired the Spike.gg. Xilium Media, launched by Tim Wiles and Adam Savinson, had made their first acquisition here, and their intentions are to aggressively expand the company into esports. Vanta raised $2.5 million. The youth esports platform have raised these funds to expand their esports leagues into the US and to continue developing their esports platform and coaching services. The round was oversubscribed, meaning they raised more than they actually needed, and in total, they have raised $3.3 million so far. Shiro Games have raised 50 million euros, with the funding coming from Cathay Capital, and they're now valued at 150 million euros. They will use these funds to expand the studio and towards developing two unannounced projects. Meta have acquired Camouflage, Armature Studio, and Twisted Pixel. The news of the acquisition took place as the Meta Quest Pro was also revealed. For reference, Camouflage has developed the title Republic for consoles and PC and have partnered with Marvel and others to bring Iron Man VR to Quest. Armature have made games like Record and Where the Heartlands, and Twisted Pixel have made Comic Jumper, Path of the Warrior, and Explosion Man. As far as workforce changes go, Piyush Gulati has joined Savvy Games Group as the VP of Production. Piyush will be responsible for overseeing production for the future games of Savvy, and he was most recently with Ubisoft for 10 years overseeing the Abu Dhabi studio, so he's definitely a veteran in the space. He holds a bachelor's degree from JP University of Information Technology. Benedict Becker has joined 𝗠𝗿 as the Southeast Asian Director for Sales and Marketing. He will be responsible for spearheading new developments in Southeast Asia for regional brands and partnership opportunities. He was most recently at eGenetic, which is another data-focused company, and he holds a bachelor's degree in business from Rhineman University. Lulu 𝗠𝗿 has been promoted to the Chief Communications Officer at Activision Blizzard. She was on the board with Activision Blizzard since April 2022 and has now stepped down to take on a new role at the company. She will be shaping the company's strategic decision and lead its communication efforts, which honestly might need some work here. She holds a master's degree in international relations from Tufts University. Evgeny Becker has been promoted to the esports GM at Better. Becker has been with Better for about 2 years at this point and was previously the chief trading officer. And for reference, Better is a betting platform that provides odd feeds and other betting services, of which Becker will be overseeing all esports betting products. He holds a bachelor's degree from Rigas International School of Economics. As far as new stuff goes, Odyssey Interactive had launched the Omega Strikers North American Collegiate Cup. It's not even been out for that long, and this is a $25,000 tournament with 125 colleges and universities competing. They will be taking place during November 12th and 13th, and seems to be a great marketing tool. And they also hosted a VTuber tournament yesterday with a $50,000 prize pool, so definitely dishing out funds for esports. The Last Free Nation podcast have launched. It's a talent-owned podcasting media network led by Monty Cristo and Thorne, who are well-known in the esports commentary space. They will also bring on board Peter Morris, who's a podcast media expert, as well as other talent like Richard Lewis, I Will Dominate, Semler, Maui Snake, and others in the esports talent industry. Activision Blizzard cannot catch a break. They've been hit with another sexual harassment lawsuit here. An anonymous plaintiff filed a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard in the Los Angeles Superior Court, claiming her former manager groped, belittled, and made frequent unwanted sexual advances towards her. She also called for the removal of Bobby Kotick as the CEO of Activision Blizzard. The manager was fired within 10 days, and they're currently doing an investigation, but it really seems Activision Blizzard just are always dealing with this stuff. That's it for this week in esports gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Credit to the publications and authors themselves for the images and information provided. And I just want to give a quick shout out to James Fudge. He didn't do his People on the Move newsletter, but if you want to support him, please support him down below. And as always, everybody, have a great day.